Welcome back to the program. And it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you someone who is really doing it the right way, making business work for her in the midst of this global pandemic that's disrupted so many lives, especially among African Americans. She is Sita Lewis, and she is better known to a lot of people who work with her as Mama Sita. How are you, Sita Lewis? And tell me about how you're making it, not just striving, but thriving in the midst of this pandemic.
Thank you for having me, Kelly. So I feel really blessed. The business started about 3 years. Actually, it's almost 4 years now. Come to think about it, time flies. I started in 2017. March is when I launched. And everything has been online since the beginning. So in the first 3 years, would travel and go to expos and different things like that. And then when the pandemic hit, I naturally could not travel. I couldn't meet customers face to face. I couldn't go out and promote my product, at different events that made it easy for me. So I pivoted and started doing all my marketing digitally. And now I can reach people all over the world. I have customers from New York City to Los Angeles to Utah to Germany to Africa, and I just sent a box to Dubai.
Wow! So let's break it down this way. Let's talk about the name of your wonderful cream and why it's working so well, and how did you come up with the name?
Okay. So the name is Mama Sita's Miracle Buttercream. And I wanted to brand my own name into the name of the skincare line, because I'm known for being creative in the kitchen. I had a part of my career included culinary work. I appeared on the Food Network as a contestant on Food Network Star. So I took my culinary skills into a classroom and started teaching high school kids how to eat healthy. And a lot of them were plagued with skin issues like eczema, and psoriasis, and rosacea, and different skin disorders. And I said, you know what, guys, instead of cooking this week, I'm going to teach you one of my own personal concoctions. Oh, that's another order. I'm going to teach you one of my own personal concoctions, because I was known, Mama Sita, as creating concoctions that heal and ail and all different things like that. And I'm going to teach you guys how to make it naturally out of natural products. And let's watch and see if it heals your skin. And lo and behold, the people who had eczema, their eczema pretty much disappeared. Wow. People who had psoriasis, they were relieved. I mean, people who had itchy scalp, it was incredible. The class made 300 jars, and it turned out to be me providing something for a particular need. And that's what I think a lot of entrepreneurs should think of. What is it that people need? It usually happens organically, and it happened organically for me. My dad gave me the nickname Sita because he said I looked like I was Puerto Rican when I was born. So they started calling me Mama Sita as a nickname. And it stuck throughout my entire life. So what better name to put onto the product? I didn't name it Miracle Buttercream. My friends gave it that name because after they started using it, they said, Sita, this product is a miracle. And so I was, researching, doing the groundwork before I launched the business. And I needed to find out what name is available. And I started playing around with the word miracle because that's what kept coming back to me. And then at the same time, I'm a woman of faith. I believe highly in the power of God. And I know that miracles can only be created by God. And God is truly creating a miracle in this business. Like I said, I started off online and I'm still online. And I had this lab built. I used to do it right out of my kitchen. I did it in the kitchen and the dining room. And I put tables in the living room. And before you know it, I was outgrowing that space. And so I had to have a contractor build a lab that's specifically for Miracle Buttercream, storing Miracle Buttercream. I have a cooling room.
Wow.
But the business really took off because people were looking for natural products, things that they can use on their skin, that they knew that there weren't chemicals in, that there weren't products that were going to harm them. And that's why the product actually works.
We'll be back in just a moment.
But their product is so good. I absolutely love it. So, and it's 100% pure. This is what their brand looks like right here. Miracle Butter Cream, okay?
Welcome back to the program. So we're talking about on this show how small businesses can and should thrive and survive and overcome in the midst of this pandemic, especially Black businesses. This is a time of Black History Month. And so we're talking to people about buying Black. But the important thing is we should buy Black and have Black history 365 days a year. My guest, Sita Lewis, is doing just that with her amazing Mama Sita Miracle Buttercream. Sita, this is, oh, there you could, so one of your colleagues brought over, there it is.
I actually have some right near me.
Okay, look at
yep,
that.
I have some products. It comes in various sizes. I have foot cream, I have facial oils, I have body butters. I also have this luxury oil that people die for. This is one of the very popular 100% pure. There's 9 premium oils in every bottle. And the key to creating a product that actually works is not having any fillers. You can cheapen a product by filling it with mineral oil and petroleum and just filling the jar and then putting just a few drops of the stuff that costs a lot of money. I don't do that. I have cold press machines where I, and I'll pivot my camera a little bit, but there's one of my machines right there in the corner, this silver machine that's standing up.
Yeah.
That is what I take all of the ingredients and I pack it into the big vat. And then I press this button. It's a commercial machine that takes 3-phase power. And when you press that button, it grinds it all together. There's no heat process involved. And it gives you this nice creamy consistency that people love. You know, it makes cocoa butter soft. It makes shea butter soft, and mango butter and coconut oil and jojoba oil and castor oil and grapeseed oil and, all the different exotic oils that we get from all over the world. But the key is that we don't mix it with anything except natural products.
How do you continue to prepare in a time when the stimulus checks are still coming and people are still waiting? And
absolutely.
I
mean, it's to me, it's a tough time. And like I said, I'm a woman of faith. And I believed that I was being put in position before I ended up in this position. So for me, it was like things got put into place just in the right timing. And, it's tough out there because even in my first year of business, our sales, the sales were decent, but it wasn't decent enough where I could quit my job and not do anything but Miracle Buttercream. Before you know it, 7 months had gone by and I couldn't keep up with the demand. But you have to be creative. That's when, if you're an entrepreneur and you don't have creative juices, then you're in the wrong business. And I believe that you have to think of, okay, how can I still serve someone in the safest way possible? So it's about being a visionary and looking down the road. Because one thing I did learn from my father, the most important thing I think in business that he ever taught me was, and this is especially now, and he's been gone for 10 years, but his words to live by were prepare for war in times of peace. So even when my business was doing good, and we never heard of coronavirus, we never heard of the pandemic in our lifetime, but I was always thinking for my business, where do I see it in 2 years? Where do I see it in 5 years? I don't even want to advertise in a way that overwhelms me so much that I can't even deliver. So say for instance, you know, I have a contact with Oprah Winfrey and she gets this foot cream and she says, oh, you know, she comes out on national TV and says, this is the best foot cream in the world, which she will when she gets it. But it's not the time because it would shut me down. I don't have 80,000 jars in my storage. I only can accommodate 5 to 10,000. So I am actually growing in the pace that I've created for myself to be able to maintain quality over a consistent period of time.
Back with more of Sita Lewis after the break. Sita, you are a remarkable woman, and you mentioned your father yet again. So the whole world should know who your dad is, and I'd like you to tell us, please.
My dad was the legendary boxing and entertainment promoter, Butch Lewis. He was a no-nonsense kind of guy, and here's something that I keep in my lab. Literally, it's been here since the beginning. It's a picture of my dad, and what's so interesting about this picture that I found after he passed away was he signed it, and there was only one picture. I found a stack of these pictures. It was his press pictures. There was like 500 of them in the stack. So I was thumbing through the pictures. Now this is how much I believe in miracles. Okay, I was thumbing through the pictures, and one picture was autographed. And you know what the picture said? Keep the faith. And I said to myself, this picture was meant for me.
Absolutely.
So and somebody had prophesied to me and said, you're going to end up taking this picture and putting it in an office of a business that you're going to run. At that time, I didn't even have a business. So when I got the business and started the business, I said, oh my gosh, this is the business. And my dad's words are keep the faith, because he came from what he called the school of hard knocks. He didn't have a college degree. So the things that he taught his children were to get educated, to be better than me. But how do you be better than somebody that didn't go to college, became a multimillionaire, honestly, productively, and worked hard and became successful? But it was the work ethic that he instilled, you know, in us. It was the little small things. He said, people don't go broke buying the big stuff. It's the small stuff that you use every day. So this man used to make us go across town to get things that were on sale, you know, and I would be like, Dad, but we can get it right from here, you know, and he's like, no, if you're not buying it. You ain't got no bank account that I know about. You know, go over to Pathmark that's across town and get the butter from there. And I never understood those concepts as a kid. I just thought he was inconveniencing me for nothing. You know, he used to tell me when I worked for him, the hardest boss I've ever worked for in my life, was that when you show up on time, you're late. You're late. So if I told you to be at the office at 9 o'clock in the morning and you get here at 9 o'clock in the morning, you're late. In my 30s, I didn't understand that concept. I was like, yo, you're nuts, okay? You're crazy. But what he was trying to say is you're not preparing just in case something happens, just in case a car gets into an accident in front of you and it causes you to have to get to work late. You are not prepared. So if you had woken up a little bit earlier, got there a little bit earlier, then if something happened along the way, you would have at least alleviated some of that, you know, some of what could have went wrong. And once again, it goes back to prepare for war in times of peace. It's the same concept. Yeah. Even though I wasn't an entrepreneur in the beginning stages of my career, it was ingrained in me to be an entrepreneur at everything that I do. And that's why I'm learning this retail business as I go along, but the fact that I have those principles and morals and those work ethic instilled in me, I can pretty much do anything. But he also had a vision for my future when I was a kid. So he said, I'm going to prepare you for, you know, having something to bring to the table before you get to the table. And now I say I am the table. Because that's how much I know I bring to the table. So I feel really, really grateful. I have great people in my life. God bless me with this wonderful man, my fiance, Pernell, who's back there also working. He helps me with everything, and he has the same entrepreneurial mindset that I do. So I think, you know, even that was a miracle how God brought us together. So it's just miracles bubbling up all around me over here.
Well, Sita, that's good. You know, something good's going to happen to you. Expect a miracle. That's exactly what you're doing.
Yes.
And I want to thank you for sharing your insights about business and your background growing up as the daughter of the late and great Butch Lewis. What an incredible talent. And he helps so many people, and for your encouragement to so many people who are perhaps watching this saying, you know what, she's right. I need to get off my derriere and act like I know and get out there doing it, even in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yes.
I appreciate you so much. Don't be a stranger to this program.
I will not. I really appreciate you having me. And also, just know a lot of people might think, well, you know, she comes from success and she has money. I started this business with no money. Okay. I had to get, you know, bank lines of credit. But over the years, I just kept injecting the money back into the business. So it wasn't like somebody just handed me something. You do have to have some savings that you start a business with. But no one handed me $1 million and said, go for it. You know, I started really with nothing, and I just kept putting back into the business. And now it's actually starting to see a profit after 4 years. 4 years. And you can find my product at miraclebuttercream.com. It's online. We ship anywhere in the world. Social media is really big for us. Miracle Buttercream is the Instagram handle and the Facebook handle, so anybody can find us. And that's pretty much our story.
That's a great story.
I really appreciate it.
And like your dad would say, keep the faith.
Keep the faith.
Thank you so much, Sita Lewis on the Kelly Wright Show. Thank you. What a blessing. We'll be back with more after this.